I wanted to show off a cool interaction I found between Noctua, blast procs, secondary radiate, and Kompressa. So if you didn't know, the Noctua's warden acts similar to secondary innervate with blast procs, where blast procs cause it to go off again. So if you shoot an enemy, warden will shoot it, and then if that causes a blast proc, it'll shoot again and again and again until either you don't get the blast or the enemy dies. Also with warden, if you shoot an enemy in the head, the warden will shoot in the head, so that's what we have right here. We have this just for bigger blast procs, galvanized shot because your warden will be killing things, so this will actually be going off for once. And then secondary radiate, because we have radiation on our Kompressa, so this will also be going off. So speaking of which, Kompressa, radiation viral. This is purely for secondary radiate. I tried just normal innervate, but the AoE from secondary radiate does actually help. Secondary encumber, just to get random statuses. Mostly magnetic to deal with Eximus. I use this ribbon on it, but you can use Jolt, and then since you're using Jolt, I would swap these two for pistol ammo mutation, just so you always have ammo. So I, obviously this is on Dante. For the Strun and the Hate, it's just random stuff for Acolytes. I tried doing this with the Strun, kind of works, but a lot of times it just die too fast, so... For the Dante, I have Roar, obviously. I use Precision Intensify. You can use Intensify for a higher Roar value. However, you will then get a less status damage increase and status vulnerability from Mage Flight, which makes bigger blast box for this build, so I like it. Towards the end, after all the conditionals, it gets to about 400%, 490 with Final Verse, or 440 with Umbral Intensify. So let me show you this. For the companion, I use the Phyla. Use whatever. Companion doesn't matter too much. Unless you're using something with contagious bond, which will nuke often. So just the Kompressa, no warden. As you can see, doesn't really do much. However, as soon as blast procs start going off and sort of just start killing everything. I shot at an enemy right here a couple times and it was still shooting guys back there. Oh, there we go. Didn't hit the 75%, so it stopped shooting. So that is just a Bloodborne. Add in the status and shooting ability from Page Flight. That's very important from that. So you can bigger blast box because you want to use it. He's on the side anyway, which is another thing, I haven't even been aiming for heads. And I've also just been shooting one guy who took the shirt off to sort of shoot that head level. This thing very much just sort of deletes rings. So yeah. Add that all in together, you kind of just delete stuff. Is this super practical? Not really. Any large tile sets where there isn't large enemy densities or enemies close together, this is not going to do well. This is going to be good for like Cuba Fortress, Steel Path. Probably 1999, not as much, unless you're doing Tech Rot. But for anything that's not super high enemy density, it's not going to work too well. But for anything small density, works decently. Eximus, it's okay. But, as I said, kind of just going on the gamble like we were doing magnetic procs. Secondary innervate go off. Got lucky and then starting from secondary go off. So yeah. Fun interaction. Here, I'll show off with innervate. So this is just a normal damage innervate. I'll do it both guys. Kompressa. So this is most that is not a Kompressa. As you can see, doesn't do that much. Rusty Ops is doing more damage, but the Warboard isn't doing more damage. So that secondary radiate, surprisingly enough, does actually help. Just kind of for comparison, that's a long weapon. Yeah. That is all. If you can think of any ideas on how to make this better, let me know. This is sort of the first experimental build thing I've done. So, if you have anything else you think might help, please let me know. Thank you for watching.